Predict the score. Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Cleveland Browns. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I'm going to give you a preview of the Week 8 matchup. I'm going to give you an inside look at the analysis. Plus, at the very end of the video, I'm going to tell you who's going to win this football game. No matter the location, from OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Coming into this one, the Raiders are 3-3. The Browns are sitting there at 5-2. This game is at 1 o'clock Eastern time in Cleveland. What the heck has ever happened in Cleveland? I have no idea. But you know what's something that is going to happen? A watch party. So if you guys miss going to Raiders games, if you want to have that like tailgating feel, I got you covered. 10 minutes before kickoff, I'm going to be doing a Raiders versus Browns watch party. Last week, Dylan and I were doing it last week. That sounded horrible. Dylan and I were doing a watch party last week, and we had 111,000 people tune in. That's what's up. That is a lot of people. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Raiders Report, make sure you do. Turn on those notifications, and if you're over 21, crack open a drink with us because, again, we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, let's look now at the Raiders' offense going up against the Browns' defense. Raiders' offense, 28.5 points per game. That's 11th in the NFL. The Browns' defense is allowing 31.6. Where I really want you guys to look here is pass yards per game. Raiders' offense, 277.2. That's 7th best. Pass yards against, though, the Browns rank 30th. But where I'm a little bit worried is turnovers, because even though the Browns have been giving up a lot of yards through the air, first in the league in turnovers with 14. Let's now look at the other side, right? Browns offense going up against our defense. Points per game, well, yeah, not pretty for the Raiders. Total yards, we know how bad our defense is. However, for the Browns offense, they've been able to run the football, and they've been able to run it with Nick Chubb, who is not going to be playing in this game, but they also have another really good running back in Kareem Hunt. That offensive line is wicked, and if you thought that it was bad this past week going up against and getting pressure on Brady, well, it might be worse this week with Baker Mayfield. So let's look at the Week 8 odds. The over-under in this one, 53.5 points. With two bad defenses, I would probably bet the over in this one. And in terms of the game itself, I mean, the Browns, they're 2.5-point favorites. When I asked you all earlier who's going to win this game, I would imagine most of you said the Raiders. So if you said the Raiders, you can go bet on this one in all NFL games at chatsports.com/Raiders. But, you might as well take advantage of this deal we got going on. 125% deposit bonus. I challenge you. Here's my challenge flag. I challenge you to be able to go find a better deal. You can't. 125% deposit bonus means when you put down $100, you get $125 for free. Yes, you're welcome. But if you know what, you want to talk a little Raiders football, maybe you want to know some of the other bets that I'm making on some of the other NFL games, email me, Raiders@chatsports.com for details. So if you want to talk Raiders, and if you want to know some other bets that I'm making, guess what? I'm going to give you these bets, but you got to go get started with BetUS. So what does that mean? You got to deposit $100. You get $125 for free, and then we will sit there. We'll talk some Raiders. Email me, Raiders@chatsports.com to get started with BetUS. Let's look at the AFC playoff picture because, heck, this is Week 8, man. We're almost halfway through the season, and we can start looking at the playoff picture. You see that team sitting there at number 6? Yeah. That's the Cleveland Browns. Do you notice a logo that's not on screen? The Las Vegas Raiders. And right now the Raiders are technically in 9th place in the AFC. Behind, you can see the Colts at 7, the Miami Dolphins at 8, and then it's the Raiders at 3-3. So this is a very, very big matchup here. So who do you got? Raiders, LV, or the Browns type CLE? And you know what? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So what does that mean exactly? When you come across this video, the very, very first comment at the very top is going to be who you got, Raiders or Browns. Let me know. Let's start here at the quarterback position. Derek Carr going up against Baker Mayfield. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you who has the advantage at every single position, starting at offense, working my way to the defense. The numbers are clear. Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. So I anticipate every person, even Browns fans that come across this video, to type DC. Because Derek Carr is clearly, and I mean clearly, a better quarterback. Baker Mayfield has not been good whatsoever. I mean, he had a good rookie year. But since that rookie year, it has been just downhill for him. So advantage, going to be the Raiders at the quarterback position. So right now it's 1-0 Raiders, right? Better quarterback, that's going to help out a lot. Let's look at the running back position now. You got Josh Jacobs against their star running back Kareem Hunt. Carries, advantage Jacobs. Yards, advantage Hunt. Receptions, Jacobs. Receiving yards, advantage Jacobs. Total touchdowns, Kareem Hunt. This one's a lot closer. And if you were to ask me who has the better running back group at the beginning of the year, I would have said the Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, that is a better running back room than what the Raiders have. However, Nick Chubb's not going to play in this game. He's probably going to come back in Week 10 from what I see. So for me, I'm looking at just the two starters. Type JJ for Josh Jacobs. Type KH for Kareem Hunt. I'm going to type my JJ, and I understand he had 10 carries and 17 yards last week. That was not on him. If you watch the game, and I hate when people just look at the box score, it was the offensive line. They played terrible. They got ripped apart. If you actually block for Jacobs, he's one of the best running backs in the league. So advantage is going to go to the Raiders here on this one. Let's look at the wide receiver position. Henry Ruggs is the wide receiver 1. Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Renfrow. I don't anticipate Bryan Edwards coming back. Rico Gafford adds that speed. Zay Jones could actually be a player to see in maybe some trade rumors. Let's look at the Browns now. Do you notice one guy who's not on screen? Odell Beckham Jr. He tore his ACL. He is done for the season, which now means you're looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones, Higgins, Landry. That's not the wide receiver core. Let's face it, they're a lot worse. So you got the Raiders or the Browns. Who's the better wide receiver group here? Type R for the Raiders or type B for the Browns. So we went quarterback Raiders. We went running back Raiders. I'm going to go wide receiver room here is also going to be the Raiders. Now with OBJ, probably would have went the Browns. But the fact that they don't have him, I can't do it. So, hey, we're sitting at home right now. We're like 3-0 Raiders. This is looking really good. Well, it was also 2-0 last week in terms of the Raiders and advantages. Let's go to the tight end room now, shall we? Where we got Darren Waller, Jason Witten, and Foster Moreau. I have no idea why Foster Moreau continues to not get snaps and why Jason Witten basically doubles his snap count every week. But the Raiders have one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, and Darren Waller, probably the third best. Let's look at the Browns now. Austin Hooper, he didn't play last week. He had appendicitis. David Njoku, he's probably their third tight end, and heck, he's asking to get traded out of there. So I'm not 100% sure whether or not Austin Hooper's going to end up playing. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how appendicitis works. But if it is Harrison Bryant, guess what? This is going to be another one where it's going to be probably advantage Raiders. But I'm going to let you all get your votes in anyway. RTE for the Raiders tight end group or type BTE for the Browns tight end group. And I can't wait for a few Browns fans to come across this video because it happens in every video that we do. They're going to freak the F out when they see that I gave the advantage to quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end all to the Raiders, right? And I do think that it's pretty clear that it is all four to the Raiders' advantages. But I'm just going to warn you, you're about to see a lot of orange coming up here. Let's look at the offensive lines now. You got Colton Miller. I'm hoping Trent Brown is able to play. Denzel good. Gabe Jackson's not getting suspended, and the fact that he got thrown out of this past week is an absolute disgrace. The NFL should be ashamed. But again, I don't see Richie Incognito playing in this upcoming game. I'm hoping, though, Trent Brown ends up playing. Let's look at the Browns' offensive line. When you really look at the numbers here, the Cleveland Browns this season have actually had one of the best. They've had one of the best units, the best offensive lines in all of football. So as much as the Raiders struggled this past week with the Bucs, it definitely worries me this week. So let me know who's got the better O-line. Type ROL for the Raiders or type BOL for the Cleveland Browns. When fully healthy, you could argue that the Raiders have one of the best offensive lines in football. However, I am going off of what I've seen this year, and you know what? It's been Cleveland. The reason why that this team is 5-2 realistically, and the reason why they've been able to move the football, I don't really know if it's so much to do with Baker because he has not been good, and he's got happy feet for really no apparent reason. This is a very physical offensive line, and I'm worried that they are going to bully around our defensive linemen because they've been able to run the football better than just about anyone in the National Football League. So advantage, I'm going to go to the Browns. It's time now to go to the defensive side of the football. Can Cleveland Ferrell, Max Crosby get more pressure on Baker Mayfield? Can they get pressure on Baker? Because if I got to watch what happened this past week where Tom Brady had enough time to basically well, tie his shoes before he threw a ball, I'm going to throw up. Now, the issue here is Derek Carr, he's not going to have time because the Browns are a team that can really get after you. And they have one of the best dudes in the biz, Myles Garrett, right? I mean, there's a reason why he got paid 5 years, $125 million. I'm a little bit, I was a little bit shocked the fact that he got that paycheck because the last thing that we saw him do is, well, try to kill Mason Rudolph. But again, this is a Browns team that has actually been able to get after the quarterback, and it's a Browns team that when they do get pressure, it's one of the reasons why they lead the NFL in turnovers right now with 14. So who's got the better defensive line? Is it the Raiders type RDL or is it the Browns type BDL? I'm going to give the advantage here to the Cleveland Browns, and I know y'all are typing RDL, but I'm seeing a lot of BDLs as well. The Raiders report is about honesty, so be honest. I know you're Raiders fans. It doesn't make you a Raider hater for being honest. It just makes you honest. Let's go here to the linebacking unit. This should be an easy one every week, but for some reason, the Raiders can't get it together, and Corey Littleton, I mean, I don't know if he needs to start going out there with a stick because he's blind or what's happening, but this linebacking unit has been terrible. So let's look at the Browns linebacking unit. You got Mack Wilson. Honestly, Malcolm Smith has been probably one of the star linebackers this year for this team. B.J. Goodson, and then Taki. What a great name. The Browns linebackers, I'm just going to spoil this one for you. They've been better than the Raiders unit, and it's not so much saying, oh, wow, the Browns have been good. It's just the Raiders right now have one of the worst linebacking units again, and it sucks because I just watched Khalil Mack on Monday Night Football, and I really wish that the Raiders at times wouldn't have given him up. Now, did the Raiders lose that trade? No, because I think both sides at the end of the day did kind of win. But, I mean, can we finally get some good linebacking play? For the love of God. Advantage Browns. Let's go to the secondary now. Here we go. This is going to be Raiders, right? You got back Jonathan Abram. Trayvon Mullen's been a cornerback one. However, the Browns secondary, yes, they do not have their star safety who they drafted in round one, Grant Delpit. But Carl Joseph has been a pretty good replacement. Maybe you've heard of him before. And their cornerback play, I mean, Denzel Ward, I think, has really taken a step up this season. And with the amount of pressure that this team is able to force, and with their linebackers also being able to get pressure, the secondary, they don't have the most talented group, and they've lost a lot of pieces, and they're giving up a ton of yards, 30th most in the NFL. But they're forcing turnovers. They have 14 turnovers, ranked number 1 in the NFL. The next closest team has 12. That's the reason why, again, I am going to give the advantage to the Cleveland Browns. And if y'all want to get mad, that's okay. But you have to face the facts. The Raiders' defense is not good whatsoever. And again, we saw it last week, that's for sure. But hey, let's look at the kickers, because kickers are people too, right? Daniel Carlson and Cody Parkey. So who's the better kicker here? You look at the extra points, they're basically the same. Field goal percentage, well, yeah, advantage Parkey. But Carlson's been a lot better from long range, and he's been a lot better, especially plus 50, because, well, Parkey, he has yet to kick a single 50-yard field goal. So who's the better kicker in this one? Type C for Carlson, type P for Parkey. The reason why I think this one matters is because, well, this one to me seems like it could come down to a field goal. And when I look at the over-under, when I look at the spread here according to BetUS at 2.5, they think so too. So for me, the better kicker in this one is going to be Daniel Carlson because he's been the better kicker the entire year. Now, no offense to Parkey. He's got one less game. He didn't start off with the team. They moved on from their original kicker, and I can't think of who he is. But for me, Carlson, Siebert, that's who it was. And since Carlson had that rough 2019, he has come back strong. He's been able to make long field goals. And I think in a game that I anticipate being pretty cold in Ohio, the Raiders, again, I'm going to pick them to come out on top of this one. So let me know here what you all think of the score is. And before I give you my final score, I'm going to tell you one more time. Go get started with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Chatsports.com/Raiders. Use the promo code Raiders125 when you sign up and deposit, and you're going to be able to get a 125% deposit bonus. So you put down $100, you get $125 for free to bet with. And if you want to talk Raiders, if you want to know what picks I'm doing on the Raiders game, on other games as well, talk Raiders with me, but you got to get started at BetUS. Email me, Raiders@chatsports.com for the details on how to get started with BetUS, okay? Got it. All right, my score prediction. You ready? Before I give it to you, one more time, predict the score. Raiders going up against the Browns. The over-under this one, 53.5. The Browns, 2.5-point favorites. For me, I'm going to go with a Raiders victory here, 31-28. Cleveland has not played good teams, and when they have, they've been absolutely blown out. They got beat by over 30 against the Ravens, basically 30 points against the Steelers. Their wins have come against cupcake teams. The Raiders have had one of the toughest schedules in all of football. I'm thinking with a fully healthy offensive line, with them practicing an entire week, Jonathan Abrams back, maybe get Henry Ruggs involved as well. Raiders win 31-28.